Thank you very much. Okay, as I said on these videos, I have a lot of announcements because part of your grade is being in class. So if you're not watching the video, you're not in class, you're losing points. So I expect all the note worksheets filled out in worksheets and handed in. And those 2 handouts, again, I use those every single year. So that's why I gave you a brand new envelope, or if you don't have a brand new envelope, use one of your envelopes. And so when you drop off the quiz, all your worksheets, every single one of them, is in here with the quiz. Okay? And if your parents are having you drop it off, then I'm asking them to have it sealed. Now, there's packets in there that you can pick up, or if you choose not to, there'll be empty one of these also, okay? So it's Tuesday morning, I'm kind of late with this, it's about 10 o'clock right now. I made this PowerPoint so it go a lot faster, and I got everything ready. So remember, those papers have to all be circled, put in here with your quiz, and then given to me. When is the quiz? The quiz is tomorrow. It'll be sent to your parents early Wednesday morning, and you got all day Wednesday to do it. You can do it at 11 o'clock if you want. And then Thursday is our get day, and that'll be the day that I'm hoping to get them all back on Thursday, even if it's Thursday night. If there's an exception, you gotta let me know. You gotta contact me some way, like, oh, something happened. But, and then Friday, we're already starting our first assignment. So that means this week, you only have 2 things to do. You have a quiz, and you'll have 1 assignment for the whole week. Okay? So I know there's a lot of whiners out there, but I'm not listening because you have no right to. So, as I was saying, I'm going to go really fast. Now, this is set up so that you can pause it. So I'm going to go fast. The faster I get through with this, a lot of you guys really like it, but also it's going to mean that I can get it online quicker. So we're going to start with letters. Alright, on the top of each one, I have exactly which one we're looking at. So in each case, you'll be able to right away know which one we're on. So, pause it if you need it, but we're on Worksheet 1 over Vladmir Lenin. I kept the titles exactly as they are written there. So the first one you're circled is the nationality of our Russian friend, who happens to be Russian. Okay, that one's pretty easy. Number 3 is not so easy, is religion. He was baptized in the Russian Orthodox Church, ROC. Okay, this one is not easy. You're going to need a flashcard. Number 5, now this changed right here, okay? I'm going to change it to, because I said Lenin wasn't his real name. I said, did he have other Ellis's? And the answer was, yes, he did. But on the quiz, I'm going to put, was Lenin his real name? And the answer, of course, is no. So number 5, circle the one to the right, and I'm going to change it to, was Lenin his real name? The answer is no. Now the next one you're going to do is number 6, I'm sorry, that's why I have this here, the state and revolution, the state and revolution. I think we're going to see that twice, to tell you the truth. So remember that is on there twice. I'll point that out to you. Part of your, by your listening to this presentation on circling, not only is it affecting your grade, but I'm also giving you certain hints that'll help you, okay? So that's why this is worth it, and it's not going to take that long. 7 is a who said, a lie told often enough, blah, blah, blah becomes the truth. That, of course, is Lenin. You just need his first name, Lenin. Number 8. Oh, I had the answer there, Lenin. Number 8, was he proletarian or bourgeoisie, just like Marx himself, bourgeoisie. Okay, now after 8, we're taking a giant jump to number 17. Notice the arrow right here, and you'll see in the future I have more of them. That means it's to the right. Not the first one, to the right. And the answer is Karl Marx. You can put Marx and Engels, and that's correct too, because Engels is in the word box. But Karl Marx or Engels, or Marx and Engels. So now we're on the back page. Notice I have it right here, back page. So again, I'm making it so that if you're flying through this, you can always see where we're at, and you can pause it any time. 29 is the next one, and that was there a clash at the big socialist meeting in Russia? The first one, yes. Number 31 is yes. Did they split into two fractions? Yes. Number 32, the majority fraction was the Bolsheviks. They were the winners. But the minority, which starts with an M, that's why it's sad if people don't get this correct, is the Mensheviks. They are the minority, starts with an M. That's 33. Okay, 37. What did the Russian people revolt against? The Tsar's government. 2 words, Tsar's government. All right, then number 41. Did Lenin have an affair with Inessa? So I have to say who he and she is. And it's Lenin and Inessa, and the answer is yes, but not the one to the right. There's no arrow there, but there is an arrow here. 42, to some historians deny yes, and the one to the right, that's what this means, and that is yes. Okay, so I hope you got the sequence down because we're going fast. Number 45 is the next one. Did Lenin support the war? And the answer is no. Notice there's no arrow, so it's only the no. There's 27 true and falses. And yeah, I tried to cut down to fill in the blanks. The true and the falses, they're only worth 1 point. Everybody does pretty good if they look over it. Now, here it is. I told you before it was on there twice. The State and Revolution's on there twice. You know that now. It says the name of his book from 1916 is The State and Revolution. It's almost kind of redundant, but it'll probably help you. So now I'm setting that one aside, actually on the ground, so don't get mixed up. Now, again, I have it listed here for you, Worksheet II over Lenin, because it's a whole separate paper. Remember the back side we don't touch. So the first one is number 2. Who is the leader of the Bolshevik Party? Lenin. That should be a no-brainer. Number 3, the Prime Minister was also Lenin when the government took over. Then number 5 is one of the few dates. 7th of November or November 7th, whatever you choose. So actually, if you wrote that as a number, this is a clue for you, it would be 11-7, right? Obviously the year is 1917, you don't have to know the year, but 11-7, remember? 7-11, yeah? Easy way to remember it. Those of you that are listening, you will get it right. And number 7, of course, that was like the internet back then, was the telegraph. You take over that, you had control of all the news. And number 12 is yes. Was the secret police supposed to be temporary? Yes. Be careful when the government ever says things are temporary, because they never are. Number 15. Were many of the Bolsheviks in the party even offended by the policy of the secret police? The answer is yes. Number 16, did the Bolsheviks think the violence was necessary for their success? Yes, they did. And after 16 is 21. Did the decree abolish the privilege of the church and state and the alliance between church and state? The answer is yes. And now turn the page. Wait. Turn the page. 28. Who was executed in large numbers at this time? And I'm going to put the dates there between June, because what is time? Between June 1918 and January 1919. So at this time, is it going to be there? It's going to say between those years, June and January. But the answer is the same. Who was, the big Q is who was executed. I think that's the only time I ask who was executed. And it's monks and nuns. Another hint, the only time I ask execution is monks and nuns. So then number 29 is who was executed in the summer of 1918? The whole family of the Tsar. All his kids, wife, everybody. Okay, because Marx said eliminate the ruling class. Lenin did that without a problem. Next one is over here. Notice it says backside of Worksheet 2. So we are on the backside of Worksheet 2. We're going so fast I can't keep up. The first one is 33. Did the communists believe in the ideology that the religion would disappear? Yes, they totally believed that would happen. Never did, but they believed it would. And number 37, in 1926, how many Catholic bishops were alive in Russia? None or zero, okay? By 1926, that is what, 6, 7, 8? 8 years, 8, 9 years, and they didn't exist. 38, now there's numbers on here, so pay attention. If you put all your flashcards with the numbers together, you would actually find out that without too much studying, you could distinguish them by putting all those flashcards with numbers together. And even if you made only a handful of flashcards, you did the numbers, that would up your grade immensely. So number 38, in 1941, how many of the 1,200 Catholic churches are still open? Notice that it said 1,200. There's a 2 in there, right? So that's how many left open, 2. So when you see that number 1,200, oh yeah, that's the number 2. So then all the way down here, there's another number. What did Lenin believe Russia would need to turn back to sanity? 10, St. Francis of Assisi. Remember 10? That's a very metric number. 10, St. Francis of Assisi. Okay, that one is done. I'm set on the floor because I'm confusing myself the way it is. Now the next one is Worksheet over Lenin Handout 1. Again, that's written on the top. Again, you can pause it if you're looking up it right now, like, oh, which paper is it? But I probably should have said in the beginning, all these are over Lenin. The next one, all of them will be over Sanger. So you can pause it, and I'm going to keep moving. This is a short answer. The question is, why would Lenin brutality be less than his successors? Because he died fairly young. In fact, he was killing people right and left, but because he died young, he couldn't continue his killing. So remember this right here, because he died fairly young, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, that's worth 3 points right there. Again, since there's only 4 short answers, and they're worth 3 points, that's worth, if you make 10 flashcards, and they were these 4, and the numbers, that'd probably be like 20-point difference in your grade. For a lot of people, the difference between failing and not failing, plus you would get 1 point for those 10. So keep that in mind. Okay, number 21 is another number. Again, this would be with your number pile. And that is how many people were slaughtered under Lenin? 6 to 8 million. Remember we talked about Hitler killing 6 million Jews? He killed 6 to 8 million of his own people. Okay? His own people, fellow Russians. Alright, 6 to 8 million. 6, 8, who do we appreciate? Father, home, Father. Okay, let's keep going. Alright, number 25 is a number. And that was at what age did he become an official atheist? The age when you got your driver's license. And just a few of you haven't got your driver's license yet, but it's 16 years old, okay? So we're going to turn the page. Notice it says turn the page. Again, this is to help you. Notice it says back page here, so it keeps you up on things. The first one is number 33, I believe. And that was, was he obsessed with the purity of the Marxist doctrine? Yes, he was. And at number 35 is a very important one. To bring about the desired communist utopia, what must be destroyed? Some people accidentally put religion, but remember, he's a Marxist first. Hating religion is part of it, but you hate first capitalism, then you hate religion. If you're a good Marxist, capitalism you hate first, religion you hate second. Keep that in mind. Number 38, I love this one. If you disagree with Lenin or Bolsheviks, even if you say, hey, I'm a Marxist, you're really inside a capitalist, okay? So don't disagree with them. I think that 38 is very telling. Number 51 is your longest short answer. Now let me read it, and of course you have it all written down already. To make the miserable masses under Soviet rule imagine that their misery was for their own good. The question was, the greatest trick of Bolshevism is basically saying, hey, I know you're miserable, but it's for your own good. So the key word here is miserable and for your own good. So, oh, this was a habit. Masses. Yeah. So, to make the miserable masses, that means to make the miserable people he's serving, you don't have to have the word masses, to make the miserable citizens under Soviet rule, this is important, imagine that their misery was for their own good. Okay, short answer, it's worth a card. And after 51, we're going to the next page. That's what I'm throwing on the ground. It's the final one over Lenin, and it's called Worksheet over Lenin Handout 2. Number 5, who had to prove the superiority of the system over capitalism? The communists. To this day, they're always proving that they're better than capitalists. And I think this one's important. The patron saint of Russia is St. Nicholas. That to this day, they still name their children Nicholas, even though they don't even know who Nicholas is. And number 8, what did Lenin think should be done to people who don't show up to work because they went to the Nikola feast? Well, remember that feast was the honor of a saint, St. Nicholas, and he thought they should be shot. Obviously, you can't shoot everybody because then you got unemployment. Unemployment, but you have to go hire more people. But he wanted them to be shot, okay? And ironically, I did not make this a short answer. Number 11, did Lenin ever work a day in his life as a proletarian? No, he never did. Number 12 is a 50-50. Were the Bolsheviks revolutionary, proletarian, workersmen? Were only for the workers? Or were they academics, professors, that kind of stuff? They were academics. Then, and to this day, the people who are most pro-socialism are still the academics. Number 15, did Lenin have a disdain towards the peasants, the workers he's trying to please? Yeah, he didn't like them. You know, there's another irony there. All right, we're at the end here. Number 24, did Lenin believe the extermination of the opposition would be a relatively bloodless affair? Yes, he believed it, even though it was not bloodless. And I believe that's it. Yep, we are done with Lenin. So we got a pile on the floor here. So now we have Margaret Sanger, and the first one we're going to do are the 3-note worksheets, okay? I think I did a slide for each one. So again, this is up here so you can pause it while you're digging this up and put all these note worksheets in order and it'll go faster. So the first one is number 2, her nationality, USA, and her first religion was Catholic. Then of course she became an atheist. Number 3, what was her mom's religion? Catholic. Notice there's no arrow, so you don't have the other one. Number 5 is a who said the most merciful thing that a large family does to ones with infant members is to kill it. That was Margaret Sanger. Okay, who said Margaret Sanger? I don't remember on this one. If it's a shorter blank, that means you just put Sanger. If it's a long blank or 2 blank, that means I want Margaret Sanger. Pay attention to that. Number 8, was Margaret's mom allowed to go to Mass? No. Her dad hated Mass. And number 10, was Margaret Sanger's dad so mean he kept offending people and lost business? Yes. Number 11, Margaret was young. Did she sneak off to church? Yes. Little rebellious girl. You say, I can't go to Mass, I'm going to Mass. When she gets older, you say, I need to go to Mass, I'm not going to Mass. Okay? Number 13, when Margaret's mom was dying, amazingly, what did Dad allow to come over? A priest. Number 13 is a priest. Ooh, you're lucky I threw that one out. So, number 22. Remember I said capitalist first, religion second? What 2 things did Sanger rail against? Same thing that the communists don't like. Capitalism and religion. Okay, remember, she's called one of the mothers of the feminist movements, and she also hated capitalism and religion like a good socialist. Remember, this is only one side. We don't worry about the back. So we're setting that on the ground. And the next one is Worksheet II over Margaret Sanger. It's exactly what it says over here. Again, you can pause if you're looking up it. Number 1 is the definition of eugenics. The study or belief of the possibility of improving the quality of the human species or a human population. That's called eugenics. And we already explained what that was. Number 12, did Margaret Sanger think charity was a good thing? No, just like Darwin. No, it's a bad thing. Number 13, what did Margaret Sanger, modern day progressive, think was bad because it stopped the natural selecting, getting rid of the unfit? Again, it's almost word from Darwin. That is, charity is a bad thing. Number 15, I consider an easy one. Would they change the name of her organization to 1943 Planned Parenthood? I thought it was interesting that she protested this. She didn't want the name of the change, but this was more politically correct. Planned Parenthood. Number 19. Ooh, see, there's a mistake right there. This is supposed to, I'm not going to change it right here, but this is wrong. Okay, it's number 19. Did Sanger hang out with people who had a great influence of Nazi racist ideology? Yes. So this is a mistake on this one. That's 19. Number 21, members in quotation marks. Their organization was to ensure that poor blacks were not reproducing. And that's the Negro Project. That's 21. That's what she called it. That's not my words. It's Margaret Sanger's words. Number 24. Oh, that's correct. Who should not be allowed to reproduce according to Sanger? And that is the poor. And number 25. I think 25 is a hard one. I didn't throw it out. What? It's not supposed to be who. What did Sanger want the state to do to poor women? Sterilize. Supposed to be what? Sterilize. Sterilize is in the word box. Note, this is a hard one. I think it's worthy of a note card. I'm not saying that because I know which ones people get wrong. Okay, now we're going to the next page and note worksheet 3 on Margaret Sanger. Remember, no backside, note worksheet 3. Pause it if you need to. Our first one is number 29. This is a short answer. We're 3 points. Why did she praise Hitler? Because of his elimination of the mentally ill. Okay, remember the one act? That was the whole theme of it. She praised Hitler for that. Number 30, everybody and their dog knows what started in 1914, World War I. You can put WW1 or World War I. Number 34, the hero of Planned Parenthood is Margaret Sanger. Bar none. Bar none. She's their hero. 35, she called marriage slavery. Anyway, you know what that means. That's what she called marriage. Number 37, these are scientific terms. Idiot, imbecile, moron. Okay? Idiot's not in the word box, but imbecile and moron, I believe, are. And remember, the word box has the word, 2 word box, 3 word box, and they're all mixed up in there. But idiot won't be in there. So these are worth 3 points. Idiot, imbecile, moron. 37. 45. Sanger says the greatest inner energy, according to psychology at the time, was sex and hunger. Number 49. When you go to college, will she be a villain or a hero? She'll be a hero. 49. Okay, I'm letting this one drop. You know what that means. Next page. Okay, we're getting down and we're going fast. I'm losing my breath. This one is called Worksheet over Margaret Sanger 1 over handout. So get that one out. Pause if you need it because we're going to keep going. The larger than life influence was her father. That's why she became a socialist. Number 6. No is the first one. Was his wife allowed to go to Mass? No. And what did she do for a living, or what did he do for a living? Stonemason. I don't think those words are together in the word box. I think one place says stone and the other one says mason. Stonemason. He made statues out of stone is what he did. Number 11, I debated on 11, but I left it there for those that are watching this. And that is, how old was she when she was baptized? 13. Okay, what's an easy way to remember that? It's 3 years before she got her driver's license. and 3 is the Trinity, and so she was 13. All right. And 16, remember we said she was an atheist at 16, but was a baptized Catholic at 13. So it only lasted 3 years, and she became an atheist. So, like I said, if you put all your numbers together, it'll be easy for you to pass it. Number 13, notice, no, the other one, the trial marriage is not there. Did they ever marry? Her first love in college. Did they ever marry? No, they never did. And number 16, notice that there's no first number in all arrows. That means the one to the right. How many pregnancies did her mom have? 18. Another number, 18. We had 13, 16, and 18. Again, if you know the division, you can do this. The bigger number is the pregnancies. The 6 to 8 million, that's a lot of pregnancies. I don't think that one would work. Number 17. Who did Margaret Sanger accuse of killing her mom? Because of the 18 pregnancies, I might add. Her father. Her father, right there. Number 17, her father. Number 19, we're talking about William Sanger now. 2 words that describe William Sanger is socialist and anarchist. Okay, these 2 words describe William Sanger. Remember that. Number 21, did Margaret Sanger stay at home with her children like a good mom? The answer is no. Number 23, we're going to go all the way to the bottom. We're changing it to 1 word. Was the one thing she was lecturing on or writing on by 1911? And the answer is contraception. So even though you had to have more words for your answer, for the quiz you just need this 1 word, which is in the word box. And number 24, we reduced that to 2 words because it says in there, what movement did Emma Goldberg introduce her? The free love. Free love. That means free love meant that it didn't matter if you had a marriage vows. Okay, you could have sex with whoever you wanted, whenever you wanted. That's what the free love movement is, which is still around today. It's politically correct today, though. Okay, now notice it says backside. So, again, these constantly help you know where you are. Number 34, I think this is an easy one. Her newspaper is called Woman Rebel. That's her newspaper. I think that's an easy one. Number 35, the slogan, last year I think almost everybody got right. No gods, no master. But it does need to be studied. Number 46, she did believe, because of the modern science at the time, that if you had sex all the time, you would become a genius. She totally believed that. And number 48, all the taboos that she wanted to get rid of, all, coincidentally enough, had to do with sex. Now I'm letting this fall to the ground, because now we're on next page, Margaret Sanger II over handout. So if you need time to find it, go ahead. We're moving on. What kind of paradise did Sanger want to be realized on Earth? A sexual utopia. That was her paradise. Now, ironically, there's a bunch here that I skipped to make this quiz shorter, but we're going all the way down to 59. This is the only one I would like to see this more often. This technical term, the kind of person you believe was swamping the population, dragging humanity down. That was the feeble-minded. The feeble-minded, 59. Now we're going all the way down the page to 74. When she got old and withery, what she used her wealth to attract? Younger men. Okay? They did it for the money. Number 75, the 2 things she turned to when she got older, when the guy said, you know, even for your money, forget it, lady. She turned to alcohol and painkillers. Okay? Alcohol, like Mike's Hard Lemonade, and painkillers. Okay? And the final one on this page is 76. Oh, I made a mistake here. I was supposed to have all the arrows because this is on the right. Now, even though she was, I think it said she was almost 87. We're just going to call it 87. How old was she when she died? 87 again. That's probably the hardest number, probably the most burned one we're going to have. because there's no easy way to remember that. 87. So that's it for that one. We only have one page left. Okay? So on every one of these, remember, if I'm going too fast, you're more than welcome to pause it. Now we're moving on to the very last one, which is Worksheet 10 over Chapter 8. The first one is what revolution took place in November 1917, the Brushkovich Revolution. And number 7, what did Lenin have brutally executed? The Tsar's, his family. That's a repeat. The Tsar's whole family. I'm only going to have it in there 1. So you can circle it, but you'll only be in there 1. Number 9, we're going to Fatima. We have a whole section on Fatima coming up, but this is kind of a warm-up because we talked about it in first grade. That it says here, what city and country married period of 3 young children? Fatima, Portugal. Fatima, Portugal. Both words are in the word box. It's really not that hard. Number 10 is what country did Mary say that they should pray for? And that is Russia, what we're talking about with Lenin. Pray for Russia. Number 14, we never had this in the Lenin section, but who was Lenin's successor? Joseph Stalin, who actually reigned quite a long time. Joseph Stalin. Notice that there's no arrows, so just Joseph Stalin. Number 16, what was a major element of the communist program? Religious persecution. Religious persecution. Again, this is a hard one, worthy of a flashcard. Number 21 is not hard. What religion do communists want to eradicate from Russia? Catholic Church. Catholic Church. That shouldn't be hard. And number 25, then you turn the page. Eventually, how many priests were allowed to minister in Russia? 1. Remember we said there were 0 bishops and then 1 priest left. 0 of the 1,200 and 1 priest left. Again, if you do all your numbers and study them together, I promise you, you're going to do a lot better. So now notice it says backside. This is the final one right here. Backside. Again, this is here to pause it if you're still looking for your backside. And number 27 is another million. How many Catholics lost their lives by 1959? 2.5 million. 2.5. A lot of those were done by Stalin. 2.5 million. Again, another number, another million. There's 2 millions. There's 6 to 8 millions, and there's 2.5 millions. It's up to you to separate them. Number 29, has the church always opposed communism? Yes. The church officially will always oppose communists. Number 39, this is back to Fatima. What day did Mary appear? First appear to the 3 children of Fatima. First appear May 13th, okay? May 13th. And then go down to 43. What prayer did she ask them to pray? Rosary. And this goes hand in hand. And these questions are going to be on your next quiz, by the way. And this is the final question. What did Mary say her name was? Our Lady of the Rosary. Some people put the Lady of the Rosary. That's fine. Now, I underlined lady because lady is not in the word box. Rosary is. Our Lady of the, so remember that. Our Lady of the Rosary. That's a key word that if you forget, you're going to get it wrong. Okay, that's it. That's it. All these papers must be circled because that's the only way you can study for the quiz. Any other way is cheating, and you'll be docked accordingly, probably quite a bit. And remember, these envelopes are there for a purpose. Okay, when you're done studying, you put this back in the envelope, you give them to your mom or dad, and while you take the quiz. That is mandatory. All right, have a good day, and hopefully I'll have this out very quick. And by the way, thank you for the applause.